What is up, guys? It's Dan from AutoMotivationZ here with another car review for you, because I love to bring you guys new content whenever I can. So today I am in a BMW 330i Xdrive. Now you guys might ask yourself, why are you in a BMW again? Did you get a new car again already? Yes, I did. No, just kidding. This is my rental car from BMW Des Moines. They were kind enough to drive down, get my car, bring it back, fix it at the dealership, and then they'll bring it back. So I'm in this car for a couple of days, and I thought, hey, you know what? I might as well make a review of this and just kind of show you what I think of the car. I've owned a couple of BMWs, and you know, what do I think? So going through this car, initially, the seats, not very comfortable. I have tried many different positions of the seat, and I just cannot get comfortable in it. My car, I sit in it, it's comfortable right away. So we'll talk about the positives and negatives here in just a second. What's the starting price on one of these? $43,700. So if you're looking at getting one of these in Xdrive, the starting price is about $43,795 or something like that. And that would be with no options. But I mean, it comes standard with a lot of decent options that I'm going to show you right now. So the first option you get this center stack here, and this is pretty similar to what I had in the M5 with this little bezel right here, and then you have your tack there, and then you have your information here, and I'm pressing this button right here, and that will just cycle through the information. 56 miles is the average, 35.4 average MPG. You have nothing, or you have the mileage. This car has 47,000 miles on it. Once again, this is a loaner car. This is the car basically that they lend out to people maybe out of state. That's why it has so many miles on it. It's constantly being brought back and forth. So let's go outside. It's a little cold right now. It's a little windy, so I apologize. You're going to catch the wind a little bit, but at least you don't have to feel the wind. It's 17 degrees today, which is a nice warm up from where we've been. It's been negative here for I don't even know how many days. Very cold. It's still quite cold out, so I'll keep it to a minimum outside, but I'll show you guys around. So this is what we got. 330i Xdrive. This is the new body style, so the G20 or G30. I'm not up on my BMW stuff right now, but this is what it looks like. Now, I really do like the taillights of the BMW, especially, you know, you got the long curve there. It just looks nice. It looks aggressive. Missing a spoiler though. That's something that I wouldn't want. If I were to buy this car, I wouldn't want that to not have a spoiler. But it looks very nice. It looks very BMW in the back. Now to open the trunk, of course that won't open. You know what? Just in case, we're gonna put the window down. You never know when doing another car. So the space is very spacious in here. 17 cubic feet. You can fold the seats down too and get even more storage, but you get a nice deep pocket right here. You get another nice deep pocket over here. So I mean, you do have space around here. And then of course you got the little trunk handle that you can do in case you get kidnapped. Here's the trunk handle. Once again, there's the car. Now these wheels, and I don't know the style BMW wheel, they're okay. Looks like these are a 225/45/18 wheel. These are just going to be all season tires. Turanza, heard of them, but never really done any reviews or anything on them. So decent wheel. We got the wheel lock nut in there, lug nut, sorry. And then on the doors, you can see we got the nice chrome trim. I think the chrome trim looks pretty good. Now these mirrors, you guys, they look nice, but when you're parking the vehicle, it is relatively difficult. These mirrors are just such a big hog. I mean, they're so big and they stick out so far. Very hard to park this car. And here's the front. So you'll see we have the LED lights, and then we have the daytime running lights as well. The lights are on right now, but don't mind that. We have a little air pass-through right here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can see right here, and that funnels into the tire to cool off the brakes. Here's another look at the lights. We have chrome on the grille because this is just a base model. It's not going to be like the M Sport or anything like that, or the M3. So we don't have anything going on in the grille. This does have an active grille design where these things will actually open up, but they're closed right now. So no fog lights or anything like that. Very nice design on the lights. Go to the side here, take a look. LED lights, BMW LED, and then once again front wheels. Okay, so we are back in the car. We'll talk about what we got going on here in just a second. I'll get my trusty data sheet up. Okay, so we talked about the starting price. We did not talk about the digital display. I'm out of breath. It's cold out, you guys. Whew, really cold out. So we got the touch screen, so you can go like that. You can see your media, communication for like your phone, your navigation, connected drive, your vehicle kind of metrics, and then any notifications that you would have. Then you have your clock up there. Coming down to the center portion here, you got your heated seats, your defrost for both, auto, which usually people just leave that on, up and down, relatively normal switch gear there, and then the same on the other side. Now coming down here, we do still have the buttons 1 through 8, which is nice. So you can go through and you can, if you want a particular radio station, you just go and you say, hey, I want 93X. Boom, you hit it, it goes on it. The shifter is a little bit different. It's very small, and that's what car companies are going to these days. It's not stuff that's very big. It's just very small and dainty, and to hit it, you have to hit this button here on the side, and I didn't know that when I first started driving it. Now it does have a sport mode, and I'll hit the gas so you can hear it. Not very, I mean, it has a little bit of growl to it, but not much. It's not supposed to. It's just a regular BMW 330i. You still have the scroll wheel on this one, which you'll see this going crazy like that. I really like the scroll wheel, especially on my RS5. That was one of the reasons why I ended up getting a new one. A 2019 new one to me. It does have a sunroof, and we'll open it here so you guys can see how that goes. Works very well. There you go. In typical fashion, nope, does not go further. So that's the most I went about halfway. But it's still nice to have. And then you have the sunshade too, that if I do that again, we have the automatic sunshade that'll come in and close there. So nice and tidy in here. Now, I did mention the seats. I don't like these seats. They're not bolstered enough, and you can see the bolstering kind of on these. Not a lot. I mean, there's a little bit, there's enough, but it's the really kind of hard leather. It's not the genuine kind of I can't think of the name of it offhand, but the premium leather that BMW uses. All right, we'll switch back to this view. Touchscreen infotainment is something that you get standard in this car. Now, you guys might think, well, touchscreen is pretty normal. It's something that, you know, I've had in many cars. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Touchscreens are pretty normal these days, but in 2020 era, they weren't super normal. Whew. So, if you guys want to upgrade, you're saying, hey, you know what, Dan, you know, the 330i is okay, but I really want the M340i. The M340i is going to cost about 10 grand more, just because it's a different engine, it's faster, it's more upgraded. It's kind of like a WRX versus an STI. You're going to get more upgraded things, more upgraded seats, more upgraded exhaust. Everything is just that much more tuned. It's kind of like an S5 versus an RS5. In this model, it's a 2-liter turbo. You have 255 horsepower. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough. I mean, I've been driving this car now for the last couple of days. It's not like it's terrible. It's just you're not going to win any races with it. And then you have 295 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty good for a car that's a 2-liter turbo. I already mentioned the trunk has 17 cubic feet of space. Pretty big trunk. You can fit a lot of stuff in there. Gas tank. So you have a 15.6 gallon gas tank in this car. What would that equate? You can do about 390 to 530 miles depending. To put things into perspective, it was a full tank when the guy left Des Moines. He drove all the way to my house, which is 270 some miles, and I have a range of 252 miles left. So do the math on that one, because I'm not going to. I'm not great at math. You should see about 25 city, 34 highway. I'm not going to be driving it that much to know if I'm actually hitting that or not. I can tell you from just the normal kind of trip, we're looking at an average of 35.2 for the life of the car. 32.3, which is going down because I'm driving it city. But when the guy dropped it off yesterday, it was at like 36. So it gets a decent average gas mileage. It's not terrible. It looks like 35.2 is the average, and an average of 53.6 miles per hour, which is mostly highway. Like I said, this car gets driven mostly highway. It's not mostly city driving. Would I buy this car? I'm kind of swearing off BMWs for the time being. I really like my Audi, as you guys know. So this is something that I probably would not buy. This is a base model. If I was going to buy anything, I'd buy the M3. But I'm not buying a rear-wheel drive car. I know they make the M3 now in Xdrive. That's something that I could look at in the future, but for right now, I'm happy with my RS5. And I think for the foreseeable future, we'll be in the RS5. I mean, we have just the standard, looks like a Bose sound system in here. So no Harman Kardon. I'd open up the hood, but I don't like BMW hoods, so we'll just leave it closed. It's a 2-liter turbo. It's like anything else that you'll see. I will say, the radio actually does sound pretty good. You know, my sub was blown in my RS5, so I haven't had really that much bass in my car. So it's kind of nice to hear some bass a little bit, but you know, this is just the standard kind of sound system in here. With that being said, you guys, please like the videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you can. We're at 664 subscribers right now. We're getting there. We're getting to 1,000. We're getting close. We're getting close, you guys. All right, you guys, so we're driving in the 330i, and I thought I'd give you guys a little sound of what it sounds like. So, I mean, it has a little bit of growl to it. Now, we're in sport mode right now, and it's pretty bumpy along this bumpy road here, and you'll see there's going to be some tires there. There's some trash over here that people like to throw. Throw your trash away. Don't throw it on somebody's property. That's weird. So, I mean, the car sounds okay. Now I know it pumps in fake noise, and I understand that, but I mean, in sport mode, this car doesn't sound terrible. I actually hear more exhaust noise than I hear in my RS5. Yeah. We'll go. I mean, it's very direct. The steering is very direct in this car. It's just like when I had my BMW, when I had my M5 and my X3M, the steering is always just rocks. I mean, you move it just a tiny bit and you are in the other lane. So it's not something that is ridiculous, but it does, you can definitely feel it, especially when you put it in sport mode. You can feel the steering is very tight. Now, as far as the bumpiness goes, on the regular part of the road, it's not terrible. It's just like any other car. It is, you know, very composed, very easy to get along with, even in sport mode. So it's not terrible. Now, like I had mentioned before, the radio does sound pretty good, but obviously with YouTube, we can't do that right now. We'll just take a look kind of off to the side where we're at. This is where we are. We are in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota right now, passing by a little industrial complex, and just taking you along for a ride so you can understand how this car rides and how it feels. Now, when you put it in comfort mode, and we'll put it in comfort mode right now, everything changes. It's very nice, it's very soft, it soaks up the bumps. The steering is very light, nimble. There's also an Eco Pro, which we'll put it in, and we'll just see how that goes. That tones things down even more. And that's more for a that's gonna be more for gas mileage, so that'll get you the good gas mileage that you're looking for. Like if you're on a long road trip and you want to maximize your gas mileage, you'd probably put in Eco Pro and it would be just fine. And you'll kind of see down here how it changes to a blue instead of the red background that it was before. Now the brakes in this car, they're regular steel brakes. They work pretty decent. Not something that I think is terrible, or by any means. But you will not hear the exhaust in this. You only hear it in sport mode. And I mean, this is, I mean, really, you're struggling to even move, basically, with Eco Pro. I wouldn't recommend normally driving, just city driving with this, just because it is that bad. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.